Yeah, buddy. Back at it. WWE NXT podcast. How we all doing today? It's your boy Jamez, Mr. Jamez, if you please and if you will, sir. Today we're gonna be talking NXT. What happened last night? Did they follow up from a fantastic Halloween Havoc? As always, if you like this content, you like what you see here, by all means, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. It helps your boy out. And that way you always get up-to-date videos. And anytime I drop something hot, every time I drop this fire, you know it's here. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Without further ado, let's get right down to it. Last night on NXT, I was excited to see what was going to happen. Halloween Havoc was an amazing show. I thought they did an awesome job from the start of the show all the way down to the end of the show. And I was really excited to see what was going to happen. NXT was a good show. I don't think it was a great show last night, and I'm just being honest. It's still worth checking out. It's still worth watching on your DVR. If you don't want no spoilers, I guess here they come. I'm going to tell you what goes down, my opinions, what we think, where things are going. NXT has gotten better since Vince McMahon said, hey, you know what? It came out that he had lost faith in NXT. I don't think he's lost faith in NXT. I think that's Vince McMahon's way of saying, hey, I'm going to let Triple H do this. Like he's been doing all along. As we know, NXT is not going to be part of the Survivor Series. As we know, that's because of the COVID-19 situation. So they are keeping people away. It's separated, I should say. So all the brands are separated as they possibly can. Except for Raw and SmackDown, that's the risk when you get the job. Now, NXT opens up with Ember Moon, who has made her return not too long ago to NXT versus Dakota Kai. I wish in the future, by the way, that I would get to see some more main roster talent, if that's what you want to call them. I think NXT's up there with the main roster. I mean, it's on TV. You get to watch it every Wednesday night. I think if it wasn't for COVID-19, you'd be seeing NXT in Survivor Series. So I think that's why NXT wasn't included in the draft. That's why you didn't see guys like Tommaso Ciampa get drafted. You didn't see anybody get drafted in NXT who's on the lower card like Apollo Crews or Ricochet or people like that who I think could benefit going back to NXT. It's not against anything that they done. It's not against Apollo Crews. It's not against Ricochet as far as the talent-wise or things. We've seen Apollo Crews. He can be a better talent than what he's used for when he had his United States Championship run, by all means. Now, that all being said, I wish we would get to see some more guys and gals come back to NXT. I gave you an example of the guys. A woman I think would actually benefit from coming to NXT, believe it or not, even if they wasn't going back to NXT, would be someone like, well, yeah, she would be going back. Someone like Kamala or someone like Ruby Riott and the Riott Squad. I think they would benefit from getting moved back to that position. Now, last night, this was a very exciting match. It was just exciting. It was storytelling. Ember Moon, it was great. It's good seeing her back in the ring. She has a victory in a tag team match, but this was her first singles match. Dakota Kai with her little associate Raquel Gonzalez. Man, she's going to whoop me if she ever sees me. If I ever go to a fan event, she's going to whoop me if she ever sees this video. But Raquel Gonzalez was on the ringside, and thanks to Raquel Gonzalez, Dakota Kai would pick up the victory after she distracted Ember Moon after a competitive bout. This was a great way, by the way, to open up NXT. It was exciting. It was fun. It was, it was heated. There was some history there that they've been telling. And they just put on a great opening segment. The next match that came up was Cameron Grimes. I don't know if you watched the House of Horror show from Halloween Havoc. I thought it was a very entertaining thing. I've seen some people dogging on it and hating on it, but let me tell you something. Wrestling in general, whether it's AEW or WWE, it's about entertaining the fans. I was entertained by this event. Yes, the house was it was a little weird, but Dexter Lumis, is a weird guy. And Cameron Grimes sold it, I think, perfectly. Maybe a little oversell on his feel factor in that. But overall, they're wanting to push Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes is the perfect heel. Cameron Grimes is that guy that, you just love to hate and you love to see him lose. It's just his personality. The way he talks, the way he acts, the way he's had his victories. And they brought back the referee that played the zombie ref during the House of Horrors. And, Cameron Grimes was definitely still scored from it by running away from him. Like I said, I think Cameron Grimes oversells his fear a little bit, and especially in the match when the match takes off. I know they're going to be traumatized. I know he is traumatized, at least his character is, against Tashida. But there's no sense to being over dramatic about it. Do I think you should be gun shy? Yeah. Do you want to see traumatized because you're scared of Dexter Lumis, especially in this rivalry that's going to take place? So yes, are you scared of Dexter Lumis? Absolutely. Sell it, bucko. Do your thing, but don't oversell it. Don't make it seem like if a ladybug lands on your shoulder, you're gonna freak out. It may be entertaining, but don't hurt your character because of it as well. Now, that being said, Tashida would go on to win this match after the referee. And let's give this referee. I don't know his name. I haven't seen him that often. He gets slammed to the corner, and then he takes a good bump to the outside when Cameron Grimes, I believe it's Cameron Grimes, or it might have been Tashida, got pushed back into him. That's what it was. Cameron Grimes initially got pushed into the referee, then Tashida got pushed the rest of the way into the referee, knocking him out the bottom rope, and he takes a great bump. I'm talking it was smooth. It wasn't overselling as a referee. It was hard. I mean, when he hit, he's like, boom, boom. The zombie ref comes out to finish out the match. Cameron Grimes loses it, runs around the ring, and Tashida would pick up the victory because of the referee. And I'm happy to see that the referees are getting more involved as far as on NXT. Because I think one of the dying arts in the wrestling business, and this goes back to you old school wrestler fans, you old school wrestlers who wrestled. Wrestlers today don't understand the value of getting a referee involved. Roman Reigns at Hell in a Cell, when the referee was going to say, look, I'm done, I'm calling the match. The referee gets grabbed by Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns done something that you don't see very often when you get the referee involved to get heat from the ref. Roman Reigns takes the referee and throws him over the top rope. Not the bottom rope, not the middle rope. No, he throws him over the top rope in Hell in a Cell. It was a great way, to get heat. A referee, if you use a referee correctly, you can get heat, especially as a heel. You want to get heat, I suggest that you listen to the Steve Austin show. He talks about it a lot because when you think of Stone Cold Steve Austin, what did he do with the referees? He flip them off. Even though he was a face, he was a baby face, but he was on that borderline where he could go either way. And fans love to see it. But he would flip them off. You look at Triple H back in the day. I mean, and you think Chris Jericho, if anybody plays to a referee, I think Chris Jericho, when you look at what he's done in AEW, but when you look when he was in WWE even, he had no problem going to the ref and arguing with the ref, having a scene with the ref to get some kind of heat and traction, to make a referee a part of the program itself, because a referee adds to the match. Referees don't always add to the story, but they add to the match and the entertainment from the match. They are people and they are there. Stop trying to ignore them when they're out there in the ring. Then we would have a Drake Maverick and Killian Dane versus Everrise. I know, and Everrise, the thing about NXT is no one's ever considered a jobber. They go out there and they put on good matches. They usually don't go out there and just blow people away, especially when they're trying to push someone. But they're trying to push this Drake Maverick and Killian Dane tag team, if you want to call it. I'm not sure what really is taking place before our eyes. But during the match, Pat McAfee and the NXT champs, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, with Pete Dunne arrive. And they ended up taking everyone out. And they took out Everrise. They took out Drake Maverick. They took out Killian Dane. And then Pat McAfee would go on to explain his diabolical plan like he's some kind of Batman villain, like he's the Joker or whatever he may be. This Pat McAfee, he does show a little greenness in his promotional skills as far as from a WWE standpoint, and I'm not knocking him. Don't take that as a knock. Don't take that as a criticism. Consider it a constructive criticism, because he has a lot of showing that he could be like a Paul Heyman type manager. I don't want another Paul Heyman manager. I think if you're going to do anything anywhere in life, whether it's sports related, wrestling related, but let's take wrestling because this is a wrestling podcast. You don't want to be the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. You want to be the next such and such. You want to be the next best thing. You don't want to be the next Roman Reigns. You want to be the next I don't want to be Roman Reigns. I want to be Jamez. That's my character. That's who I am. Jamez is who I am. So I want to be the next Jamez. I don't want to be the next Roman Reigns. I want to be Jamez. Pat McAfee is Pat McAfee. He had a pretty good showing with Adam Cole. The rivalry is going to continue, and I want to give props to NXT because they managed to take Lorcan and Butch, make them a heel. How'd they make them a heel? They did it in the ring. There was no big blowout. There was no big whatever. It came out of nowhere, and it was shocking to see them change in the ring just by holding the submissions longer, by playing dirty, by doing dirty things to pick up the victory, and then to align yourself with Pat McAfee. Then Pete Dunne last week, he turns heel. How's he do it? He does it in the ring. He turns on O'Reilly, smacks him with a chair last week, joins what they're calling the Kings of NXT with McAfee, only Danny, Pete. So now they are the Kings of NXT. And what they all have in common, they're not from, only Lorcan is from America. Pat McAfee's from America. But you got Butch and Dunne. So right there, that's where the King comes from. But McAfee gives this fantastic heel promo. And it was. Give the man props. And he let Pete Dunne, he let Butch, he let Lorcan get involved by speaking some, getting their point across, by making their own characters. You see, the problem, and I know it sounds like I'm knocking AEW, and I'm going to watch AEW later on. I'm going to watch AEW later on and see what's going on. And I like AEW, but here's the thing. I think the managers sometimes get in the way of the talent. The managers make it all focus on them, and they don't focus enough on the talent. Whether that's the camera work, whether that's just the manager being selfish or not being entertainment savvy, whatever the case may be. Speaking of entertainment and being savvy, I want to say this right now. If you bared with me and you're still watching this content and you like what's being said, you have your own opinions, put it in the comments below. Let's have a conversation about it. I will get back to you. I would also like to encourage you, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and even hit that share button. It don't cost you a thing. It's absolutely free. And every time I drop a video, which I will be dropping another video here not too long after this one talking about AEW, you get a little notification. Take the time out, hit the like, hit that subscribe. It helps me out, but it helps you keep up to date with the Jamez Report. Now, that being said, when the Kings of NXT tried to leave, Killian Dane was not done. He had to get his shot in. He jumps McAfee, whoops the toe out of him before they was able to get him off of him. Pete Dunne then takes the corridor and kicks it in his face. The way this is being drawn out to me, the way I look at it is this way. You got new tag team champions with Butch and Lorcan. McAfee is after the Undisputed Era, which, by the way, they took a trash can and burned the flag in the middle of the ring. That's some Attitude Era type stuff right there. They peel out of the parking lot celebrating. It's like they just won a championship, and they did. They just won the tag team champions 3 weeks ago, I think, 2 to 3 weeks ago. They're celebrating. They're having a great time. They're enjoying life. They're running ran shop because they don't think they can be touched, that they can do anything. Heck, they call themselves the king of NXT. They think they cannot be touched. Brilliant heel work. I'm interested to see what more this group does. I'm interested to see what more they can pull off. I'm interested to see how Undisputed, when they come back, respond to the Kings of NXT. Moving on. Ghostface. Ghostface is an NXT superstar now. At least that's the way it's looking. He's teamed up with Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano. They had a little interesting, I think it's the Game of Life moment with Johnny Gargano. Talk about how he can win titles, but he can never defend them successfully. Well, he's going to defend the North American Championship successfully. So I almost want to say whoever Ghostface is, and hear me out on this, I think it's an enemy of Gargano's. He's helping Gargano to get him to the point, and Candice to get them both to the point, so they can make a strike. I would love to see that. Also, they're putting Ghostface in here because the next Scream movie has been announced that is coming out. I don't know when the release date is, but they are making another Scream, so this is a publicity thing to get people like, oh my goodness, okay, let's see what's going to happen. Let's go see that movie, because I'll probably go watch the movie, let's face it. But Toni Storm versus Shotzi Blackheart was advertised throughout the whole week that they was going to do this match, that Shotzi Blackheart challenged Toni Storm. And Toni Storm is one heck of an athlete from the NXT UK brand. Shotzi storms down to the ring after Toni Storm has already came out and confronted Toni Storm about something personal about her sister being in the military, something along them lines. I replayed it. I couldn't quite catch what was said, and I apologize for that, but that was the motivational thing for Shotzi to challenge Toni Storm. And this thing was off to the races from the word go. As soon as the bell rung, it was a match. It was a fight. It was a struggle. Whatever you want to call it. That's what it was, ladies and gentlemen. They went at it. Toni Storm controlled most of the match. And let me tell you something. Toni Storm, she has put on a good match anytime I've ever watched her perform at NXT. I've not watched too much of the UK brand. There's nothing against the UK brand. I don't find the time to sit down and watch it as much as I need to or much as I like to, but I can tell you right now, Toni Storm is one heck of an athlete, to say the least. And if she would make a full switch over to the NXT brand itself instead of the UK, it would be a matter of time before she would face Io Shirai and take away the title. She puts on a heck of a performance every time she's out there. Shotzi Blackheart has been doing the same thing, and Shotzi Blackheart's going to be a superstar in NXT. Superstar, she's going to be a champion one day. She's going to be a big name, because you see the passion that she has for her character. You see the passion that she has in what she does inside the ring. She is probably what makes a lot of wrestlers really good. She was a fan first. This isn't just a job for her. She's living out her dreams right now. You've seen the trust that NXT, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels and NXT have in her by making her the host of the Halloween Havoc show last week, which, by the way, she, in my personal opinion, I thought she did a fantastic job at hosting the Halloween Havoc show. I'd like to have seen a little bit more of the wheel, but I get it. It's fine. Maybe next year if they do it, we'll see what they got. But I was really impressed with what she's been able to do here lately. When she first came into the WWE, I wasn't quite sure when I first started watching her. I wasn't quite sure if I was going to get into this character. I wasn't sure I was going to like a Shotzi Blackheart. But she's grown on me, and she really grown on me over the NXT Halloween Havoc thing, and her costumes also grown on me. I'm just kind of throwing out there, a little something. So Shotzi, if you're watching, it's going to be a star no matter what. But Candice LeRae would come on the screens where they keep the fans at, and she would have Shotzi's tank, because they made note that she didn't even come down in her tank tonight. Well, that night. Last night. And it was odd. As you know, Beth Phoenix does all her commentating from home. Vic Joseph, and Wade Barrett have been handling the live commentating, which I love what they've been able to do in NXT. I think it's been great having them on commentary. They all have good chemistry together, it seems. And anyway, so LeRae comes down to the ring. Well, not to the ring. She shows up with the tank, costing Shotzi to get rolled up and pinned 1, 2, 3. And then Candice LeRae would run over the tank with a big truck, and it seemed like forever. I didn't even know if it was going to get ran over. She dragged that thing for a half a mile, and I was like, okay, this thing goes planned. Should have ran that over with the wheel. You had a big enough truck. So LeRae is mad because Shotzi spun the wheel last week at Halloween Havoc, and what she would say would cost her the match. Candice LeRae is kind of like that girl in the movie that loves the guy, but she can never get the guy that she wants. Candice LeRae is that woman that she puts on great shows, she puts on great matches, but she never wins the championship. That has to be hard. And the fact that the NXT has kept Io Shirai the champion as long as they have, which I'm not knocking Io Shirai, but if I had to pick my champion, I'm picking Candice LeRae over Io Shirai. That's just me, though. I don't know about you guys. Like I said, I'm not knocking these talents. I'm just saying, if I had to sit down and go, okay, I'm going to pick one of these people to be a champion, I'm giving it to Candice LeRae. See what she can do as the NXT champion. She's switched characters. She's not one as his new character. Her husband, on the other hand, went on to be pretty successful as his new character, as the heels. And I think Candice LeRae has done a good job at being a heel. So I want to eventually see her win the NXT Championship. Honest to God, cross my heart, hope to die. But after this happens, they go to commercial break to come back with Timothy Thatcher standing in the ring with his new protege, Timothy Thatcher, the Thatcher Thatch Can, he likes to call it. It's the training facility. He's just showing off his submission moves. It's a great way to get him heat. His last week's protege comes down to the ring after he takes advantage of his new protege. Jamal, I think his name was, or Deshaun maybe. But this guy, Austin Gray, Thatcher's last student, would jump and get the better of Thatcher. So they're building up something. I don't know if they're building up something to have Thatcher versus Austin Gray per se. I imagine that will be next week, and Austin Gray will probably get beat. Or you're going to see everyone he's been training come out and take on Thatcher and show him give him a little taste of his own medicine. I'm not sure how that's going to turn out. So I'm interested to see where that's going to go. Because Timothy Thatcher's that guy you also love to hate. I like him for his in-ring ability, but I hate the guy's personality. But I love how he has no teeth, and WWE's like, you know what? That's who you are. You're just this rough, gruff individual. I'm interested to see more how they push him. Tommaso Ciampa versus the Velveteen Dream was the main event of NXT. I wasn't all that excited for this match. I was excited, but I'm not that into Velveteen Dream. At least not as a heel. There's sometimes, some people play things better than others. Randy Orton, for instance, he's not a bad face, but he's a way better heel. Drew McIntyre, he's not a bad heel, but I think he's a way better face. Same with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan can play the heel, but Daniel Bryan is a way better face. Same as Rey Mysterio. Them are some guys that's always face. Hardly ever are that you see them turn heel. Velveteen Dream would go on to lose this match to Ciampa, which is not a surprise because it sounds like Triple H has lost his faith in Velveteen Dream a little bit, for one. This match, to me, it was good, but it wasn't great. I would rather have seen Dakota Kai versus Ember Moon in this situation, in the main event spot. Like I said, it's nothing against so much the athlete of Tommaso Ciampa. For me personally, I don't feel Velveteen Dream. But that's just me on a personal level. I know he has his fans, but I just don't feel him as a heel. I wish if he was a face, I'd be a little bit more excited about this match. Or if he changed his character just a little bit more. I don't know what it is. If he just tweak it in the right direction a little bit more, then it would be no problem whatsoever. But that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in today. I want to thank you all for coming in, spending some time with me, taking some time to watch this video. And I want you to know that I'm going to be back with another video after I watch AEW today. I'm going to have another video out there, so stay tuned, stay ready for that. Also, hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you like the content. Please tell your friends. Let them know that the Domestic Report's out here giving up-to-date shows, reviews. If you have a comment or opinion that you want to talk to me about, by all means, put it in the comments below. Let's have a conversation because we're all entitled to our opinions. And I'll see you all later on here on the James Report.